When you play one TCG, looking at the others can feel almost like listening to a foreign language. But just how much does knowledge from one game translate to another? Well, today I brought back my Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing friend Vantage, and I'll be showing him Magic the Gathering cards to see if he can tell which are deemed fair and which crossed the line and had to be banned.
Hello, hello, hello. How we doing today, ladies and gentlemen, and my non-binary folk? Hi, I'm back.
Yes, sir, and today we're going to be doing it a little bit differently. I'm going to be showing him cards with very high salt ratings on EDHREC and ban cards, and he'll have to tell me which are banned and which are not, which ones cross that line and are unacceptable to players.
This gonna be fun. It's gonna be a very fun video because because coming off of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list, like, we say draw 2 cards and that card is banned, but then people be like, oh, how is draw 2 such like a strong card? Because then you play Pokemon where you can discard your entire hand and draw 7, but you're so much more limited in that game as opposed to Yu-Gi-Oh! So then in Yu-Gi-Oh! Draw 2 is crazy. It's like,
it's always so interesting, like the difference, like where the line gets drawn with the different resource systems and like how they balance it.
Like it's so crazy. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Magic has to offer as far as like insane cards and cards that get banned.
So I already walked Jay through a couple different examples of things and concepts that might get cards banned in Magic. The ones I talked about mostly are if they're not fun, if they make an uninteractive board state, if they can abuse the raised life total of Commander, and if they're just too powerful or weird. And like, there's a bunch of other things that can get a card banned. Luckily, there's actually reasons given to each card on the ban list, so when we get to those on this list, I can explain exactly why they believe it should be banned. But I think we've gone over things enough here. We can actually go into our first card, and I'm going to show you probably one of the most iconic Magic cards of all time here.
Okay.
With Black Lotus.
Black Lotus.
So have you ever heard of this card or seen this one? This one, I'm kind of curious.
No, I have not.
All right, this is the Magic card.
The Magic card. Okay, the Magic card.
This is our Pot of Greed.
All right. Adds 3 mana of any single color of your choice to your mana pool. Then is discarded. Tapping this artifact can be played as an interrupt.
So that last sentence is basically just shows how old this card is.
Ooh.
Now you'll just have like that little turn symbol that we've seen on a couple cards, and which means you can do it at any point. You just turn the card sideways and it has the effect go off. Something you didn't mention here is the card costs 0.
Oh, so it don't cost nothing. So it costs. Wait a minute. Pause. Wait. So you just add 3 mana of a single color?
Yeah.
And no cost?
No cost. Well, the card gets rid of itself afterwards. So you get 1 instance of 3 mana.
Okay. That sounds wild. That sounds a little wild. You just 3 mana. Just 3 mana of a single color of your choice in your mana pool. You just 3 mana. No cost, no nothing.
Is that enough to make the card banned, though?
Let's see. In Commander? Well, because you only run... so you only run 1. You can only run 1. So... And you say it's 60 cards, right?
100 cards.
100...
Well, so it's 1 card that's out of the game, like your deck master or your commander, and then 99 cards is your deck.
Okay. But you're only going to have 1 copy of this card in your deck.
Absolutely.
I mean, so three mana is definitely a lot. But like, I don't know. I feel like if we're going by just commander in general, well, damn, that's ooh. But you can tap this at any point though, right?
Yeah, so you don't even have to use it the turn you play it. You can just wait, and then whenever you want, boom, here's an extra 3 mana. But again, 1 use.
But I feel like that 1 use is everything though. You know what? I'll say, banned. I feel like it's banned. I feel like it's banned.
Jay, absolutely correct.
Woo.
So, Black Lotus is in what are called Magic's Power 9. These are supposedly the 9 strongest cards ever made. They're from very early on in Magic's history, and they are just unbelievable. Anything free is real good, typically.
Yeah.
And like this is no exception. This card sells for truly thousands of dollars. There's another version of it for Commander called Jeweled Lotus, and you can only use that 3 mana for your Commander, and that card's $100. So that's how good this effect is.
Oh my gosh, dude.
But this is what the Rules Committee has to say about Black Lotus. Black Lotus was originally banned for poor optics rather than power level. Players watching Commander games in passing could reasonably assume that they needed hundreds, now thousands of dollars in Power 9 mana as table stakes just to join the format. Black Lotus was an iconic and expensive card at the time it was banned, and removing it from the card pool was intended to combat the notion that Commander is prohibitively expensive. So, while this is extremely strong, that's not the reason it was banned. It's because it would be too expensive and make the game seem too expensive to new players.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is kind of cool that they wanted to keep it a cheap format.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So let's grab you another card here. I got a couple fun ones in a row here. So this is Ristic Study. This one's going to be a blue card.
Okay. 2 water. All right, enchantment.
2 and a blue.
Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 1 mana.
Correct. And this works effectively like a continuous spell or a field spell.
Oh, that's nasty. So, wait a minute. Oh, that's kind of busted? So, like, if any of the 3 opponents cast a spell, you get to draw.
Unless they pay a tax on that card.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay. So, remind me, you can cast multiple... Or actually, hold on. Everything's a spell, right?
Everything's a spell except for lands.
Except for land. So that's just if your opponent plays anything.
Correct. So in Commander, let's say you play this on your 3rd turn. You pass it to the next guy. If he plays a spell, if everyone else at the table plays 1 spell and can't pay this cost, you've drawn 3 cards that turn. And it keeps going.
No.
For as long as they don't remove it.
That's no. I mean, like, no. That I feel like that's such crazy card advantage.
It is crazy card advantage.
Like that's absolutely insane. Cause I mean,
is it insane enough to be banned though?
I mean, because I fall back on Yugioh and Maxi, because Maxi, like, I think Maxi
You know what? You can use the same answer people give for Maxi. Just don't play any cards.
Just don't play any cards. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like Maxi is a good card if you go second, because it gives you the chance to play if your opponent doesn't play into the Maxi. But also, if you go first and you set up a nasty board and then you also have Maxi on top of it, at that point you're just unstoppable.
Yeah.
But like this is crazy though, because it's just basically when any of your opponents play a card, you get to draw unless they pay mana to stop you from drawing.
To be fair, the 1 mana is not like a ton. It'll slow them down, but like it's not like a huge cost, right?
But what if you play multiple cards that turn? Do you keep having to pay to stop them from drawing?
Every time you choose to play a card.
See, so that's...
Also, socially, you need to know about something. This card can be mental warfare, because every time someone plays a card, the owner of Ristic Study will say, "Are you paying the 1?" On repeat, forever, for the rest of the game, if this is allowed to be in a game.
That sounds so annoying, bruh. Okay, so it says you may draw a card, so I guess you don't have to draw.
You can't even be forced to deck out with it.
Yeah. So, because like Max C, you play it, you have to draw no matter what. You can't choose not to draw. Once you play it, you draw.
Mm-hmm.
But with this one, you can choose not to draw. So, that's, you know what? I feel like this is just one of those really annoying cards that people want it gone, but I feel like it's not banned. I feel like it's not banned.
You're absolutely right. I am personally convinced someone on the rules committee has something for feet.
Yeah,
that's why it's still here. I can't explain it otherwise because this card is just obnoxious. And if I hear someone say, "Are you paying the one again?" I'm going to scream.
Like it sounds annoying as hell, but I mean it's at one, but like once you get it, it's oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many other removal cards too, but still.
Yeah. It depends what you're playing against too. Like white has a ton of enchantment removal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there are answers in the format, but like if no one's seeing it, someone's just drawing a lot of cards.
Mm-hmm.
Or slowing the game down. But this next one, very similar idea.
Okay.
This is Smothering Tithe and the only acceptable art of Smothering Tithe.
Okay.
Gotta use the anime one.
Let's see. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player may pay 2 mana.
So it's essentially the same thing. But rather than on cast, it's on draw.
Ooh.
And rather than paying 1, it's paying 2. And you won't draw from this. You will create a treasure token. What a treasure token is essentially an artifact on the field that you can sacrifice for 1 mana of any color whenever you want. So they pay 2, or you get 1 mana in the bank.
Nah, I feel like this card is gone. I feel like it's banned. There ain't no way.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Not banned.
Wow.
I would say this, on average, is less powerful than Ristic Study. It's still very good, but the amount of there's no draw to fuel what you have for that mana.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you already have an engine going, you just have this big stock pool of mana and nothing to spend it on.
Okay.
Yeah, but it can be very strong. It can be very obnoxious. Again, they'll be saying, "Are you paying the 2?" And that will drive you crazy.
Okay.
But,
wow.
Okay, so 1 and 2 tax isn't enough. This will be our last card like this. What about Nether Void? Another 4 mana one.
All right, let's see. Whenever a player plays a spell, counter it unless its controller pays 3. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I was on a theme here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's see, it costs 3. Oh. That's... Bro, what? So whenever they play a card, they have to pay 3.
Yeah, there is something different about this one's text, and I'll see if you could point that out.
See, it says counter it.
So counter just means negate for all intents and purposes.
Huh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Does this affect you too?
It sure does say player and not opponent.
So it just says, yeah, whenever a player plays a spell. So this hurts you too.
Absolutely it does.
This is everybody. Is that what it means by world enchantment? Like it. Wow. Okay. Well, I feel like if it affects everyone, then, I mean, it's fair, right? It feels fair. Now, are there any decks that would profit off of... everything's a spell, though. Everything is so it's just anytime anyone plays a card, unless the controller Pays, huh? Okay, so then wait, what happens when you can't if you can't pay the mana? Oh no, well no, it's the counter, graveyard. Right? Yeah, counters, right? Yep. Duh. Okay. So, this is really hard to say. Because I mean, to me, it doesn't feel. Well, I guess if your deck revolves around stuff like this, then maybe it's one of those things where it's like it doesn't affect you, but it affects your opponent. And cards like that, you know, like in Yu-Gi-Oh, stun is very annoying.
So I'll give you that in Commander, this would be very hard to build around, just because it is a 1 card in your deck, and it's a much slower format. And I'll tell you, in Standard, which is our main format, this was kind of a cool card because what you would do is flood the field with a bunch of really low-cost stuff early, and then once your field was developed, you would drop this afterwards and go, and now respond. Kind of like putting up like skill drain after your field set up or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Oh boy.
But is that good enough to translate into Commander? For 4 people.
I'm gonna say it's not banned.
Absolutely correct. You are 4 for 4. No, you're not. You're 3 for.
I'm
4.
I think 3 for 4.
I lost track, which is not good because we're still early on.
I got the waifu card wrong.
Right. But yeah, it's just because it's universal. It's just not that big of an issue. In Standard, it's much more obnoxious.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at a goofy one. Get away from these tax cards.
Yeah, like what the hell are these cards, man? Oh, okay, Chaos.
This is Chaos Orb, very old card.
Oh my.
You could probably tell by the art.
Yeah. Mono artifact. Let's see. So you pay 1, flip Chaos Orb onto the playing area from a height of at least 1 foot. What is this? What is this? Chaos Orb must turn completely over at least once or is discarded with no effect. When Chaos Orb lands, any cards in play that it touches. Bro, no.
What do you mean?
Get this card out of here. Get this card out of here. No, I feel like this is banned because this is just silly.
Yeah.
It's banned. It's just.
Let me see if I can find them.
Because it's the same. It's the same as the one that you're saying you playing a game in a game.
Yeah. So Chaos Orb absolutely is banned. The reason they give is cards that require manual dexterity present unique accessibility challenges for the format. We don't want Commander to be a format that you can only play if you can engage in specific physical actions.
Yeah.
Also, like, you're gonna damage the card. Like, it's just stupid.
Yeah. Get rid of that card.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard a story of some guy who like called a judge like at some big tournament, and he's like, "Hey, am I allowed to damage my own cards in the middle of the tournament?" And the judge is like, I guess. So he ripped up the card and flipped it all in the air, and like all the pieces fell on the opponent's stuff. And he's like, Chaos Orb landed on your stuff. And the judge goes, "That's great. Now you don't have enough cards in your deck. You're disqualified."
What?
I'm not sure if that's a real story, but in my heart, I hope it is.
Oh, that's crazy. What? Why would they even print a card like this?
This was like, I believe in the first set of Magic, possibly the second one, but like it's early.
It's like, what
so they
kind
didn't really know what they were doing yet.
Yeah, what kind of card? I don't even know. Move on to the next one. What is this? This is weird.
All right.
That's a crazy card.
The only land I'm going to show you today. Caracus.
All right.
Caracus. I don't know how to pronounce this.
So let's see. Tap it. Add 1 to your mana pool. Let's see. Tap it. Return target legendary creature to its owner's hand. Okay. And you said this is land?
So this is a land. It's a legendary land, which means you can only have one of it.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's not a basic land, so that's the rule for Commander anyways.
Right.
It acts like a plane, so you get 1 white mana from it. Or you can tap it to bounce a creature back to its owner's hand. A legendary creature. Now, do you remember what I told you about choosing a commander for the Commander format?
I do not.
So the only restriction for choosing a commander is that it has to be a legendary creature. So this land could potentially continue to bounce one player's commander every turn. Do you think that's a reason enough to ban it? Or is that just okay?
See, what was special about the legendary creatures?
So legendary creatures, 1, they are allowed to be commanders, and 2, you cannot have 2 of the same legendary on the field at the same time. Not really something that matters in Commander, but in Standard it can come up.
Okay.
Or if you're like making copies of a card, then you can't have 2 copies of a legendary card because it breaks the rule.
Okay. I'm gonna say it's not banned.
Okay. Caracus is banned.
Oh wow. Rip. No.
So they say Commander is a format that focuses on legendary creatures that tie decks together. And Caracus is a land that can both prevent a player from having having consistent access to their commander and allow its controller to consistently save their commander from removal. It does both of these things for a negligibly low cost. As you can see, there's no like mana next to the tap. It just does it for free. Yeah, it's basically a no fun button.
Yeah, okay. I got you.
Let's go to... This is Yu-Gi-Oh! The card, the next one.
It's gotta be a... What is this? Oh, wow.
Omniscience for 10 mana.
Jeez. You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. That... What? Damn.
And gorgeous art in this one.
Yeah, that's amazing art, but holy moly. So you just do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's Yu-Gi-Oh!
But that's a really high mana cost though.
Absolutely.
That's a really, really high cost. I mean, I feel like if you're at 10 mana at that point, you might as well, everything should be free. I think this card is not banned.
You're correct. Yeah, it costs a lot. Most people will have some kind of answer for it. And essentially, if you're at 10 mana, you can pay for most of the stuff in your hand anyways.
Yeah.
This is kind of your reward for stockpiling up everything that you want to play all at once, but it's just kind of slow. Unless you cheat it out, then it's insane, but that's its own thing.
Yeah.
What about something that stops people from playing cards, like Void Winnower? 9 mana this time, another big one.
9 mana. All right. Your opponents can't cast spells with even converted mana costs. 0 is even. Oh. Okay. Your opponents can't block with creatures with even converted mana costs. Okay. So anything that's like 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever, they just can't play it.
Essentially, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but your opponents can't block with creatures even with even converted mana costs. So it definitely stops a lot of cards.
Half of them, roughly.
Yeah. Damn. But you know what? Yeah, I feel like this is banned. I feel like it's banned.
Okay. Void Winnower. Not banned.
Huh. Okay.
Same kind of reason as Omniscience, just very high cost.
Oh, you know what? True.
And like, The funny thing is, like, usually when you see a big cost creature like this, you'll hear Dies to Doomblade, which is a 2-mana spell, kill a non-black creature. It doesn't, because that's an even cost spell.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, in theory, it's fantastic, but they probably have an answer to it.
Okay, so dang, I should have
this is Blight Titan, or Blightsteel Colossus. Sorry, Blight Titan's a different card. 12 mana. But this one's a little bit different, and I'm gonna have to explain a mechanic to you as well. So if you want to read this.
Okay, so trample. Okay,
It's piercing.
Infect.
So infect is an alternate win condition.
Okay.
If a card deals, or if a person is dealt 10 damage by cards with infect, they lose the game.
Oh. Oh.
And then indestructible, can't be destroyed.
Okay. If Blightsteel Colossus will be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal Blightsteel Colossus and shuffle it into its owner's library instead.
Mm-hmm. So we've talked about high cost cards being impractical. This is a high cost card, but it has its own protection and piercing and a win condition. Is that enough in combination to make up for the high cost and be banned?
Dang.
I thought this was a cool one to add.
Yeah, okay, so costs 12 mana.
Mm-hmm.
But that's crazy though. I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like if you get to the mana cost to drop this dude on the board, like you deserve it. I feel like, it's like if I know the one time I'd be like, oh yeah, it's not, I feel like this is fair. And then it's gonna be like, nah, this guy is actually kind of cracked. Like, he had to go.
I've been trying to set these up in like groups of 3 to psych you out. I don't know if it's working or not, but
no, it's definitely it's definitely messing me up right now. Like,
I'm glad.
Golly, it's like it's not even like the trample that's getting me. It's the high cost, but like it's the reward that you get from it. The whole infect thing. You say if you inflict 10 damage or something, you win.
It doesn't have to be from the same card. So like you can have little cards all the way up throughout the game, like 1 damage here, 1 damage here. Each one gives you an infect counter, and then once you hit 10, you lose.
Jeez. If he would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal Blightsteel Colossus and shuffle it into its owner's library instead. So it can't even go to a graveyard. It's just like,
which is probably for the best because there'd be like people trying to revive it.
Yeah, it's just here forever. You know what? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I feel like he's banned.
Blightsteel Colossus is not banned.
I knew it. I knew I was saying it, and oh my gosh. You know what?
And there's an alt art of this card where he's Megatron, so that's kind of cool too.
I'm so sick, bro. Get me off. Get me off of these high cost cards, man, because they keep throwing me for a loop. I keep thinking, oh yeah, they're really strong, maybe, but it's because they cost so much. I just got to think they cost so much.
All right, let's go to something a bit cheaper then.
They gotta have busted effects.
There's a couple high cost ones later, but we'll get to that later.
Oh,
let's go to something real cheap. This is Time Walk.
What? Ew.
Yeah, it looks ugly. It's old.
So 2 mana. Take an extra turn after this one. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's 2 mana.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother turn.
Yeah, but like 2 mana, that's a lot of mana, right?
No. This is crazy. No, this card is banned. I feel like it's banned.
Yeah, absolutely. This card's definitely banned.
Finally, I got one. Let's go.
Let's go with another cheap one for you. This is Silence.
See, we go with the most expensive ones, and now we're going with the cheap ones.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Silence. So 1. Okay. Your opponents can't cast spells this turn. Oh wow. Okay.
And it's an instant, so it can be used on your opponent's turn.
Oh. Damn, that's strong. It only costs 1.
Yep.
And they just and they just can't play the game. They just can't play the game.
Now, is that toxic enough to be banned?
Well, okay. I guess I gotta think about it in a not a roundabout way, but so there's 3 opponents, right? Okay, so and you're only gonna have 1 copy of this card in the deck.
Yep. So you can choose essentially one player's turn to skip.
Yeah. So like.
Now, importantly, when you play this, it goes on to what's called the stack, which is essentially like the chain in Yu-Gi-Oh. So people can respond to this with their own instant cards or quick play cards, right? And they can get in some spells that way. And they're still allowed to play a land for turn.
Yeah.
I feel like I should clarify on those.
I'm gonna say I feel like this card is annoying, but I don't think it's banned.
Jay, you are absolutely right.
Oh, thank
If someone played this against me, I'd probably focus them the rest of the entire game.
Oh my gosh.
Like, that's some annoying shit. There's also a counter spell that works like that, by the way, where it's just like for the rest of the turn after you counter something, they can't do stuff. That tilts me off the face of the planet, but they're fine, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So, whew, I'm telling, like, I'm sweating now because like I get like 2 wrong back to back. I'm like, oof, man. Like,
I've been kind of a bastard with the cards I've chose. So.
Oh, like God, it was those high costing cards, man. Like, dang.
Well, we got a couple high costing stuff left, but we'll save those for last.
Okay. Whew.
I've talked to you about my personal feelings about cards like this. This is Armageddon. 4 mana, destroy all lands.
Oh, I feel like this just resets the game. Is that what I'm getting at? Is that?
It can work like that.
I mean, if you're just destroying all lands, because that's what you use to.
Yeah, that's where you get all your mana from.
Yeah.
For casting spells.
Yeah. So you pay 4 to just blow up everybody's mana pool. So then they got to start over building their stuff again.
Now, what situation would you play this card in, do you think?
This feels like an in-game card.
Yeah. So you build your board, you slam Armageddon, no one can do anything because they don't have any mana. So it's similar to that one we showed earlier, the Nether Void. Where it's just like, once you're set up, you slam it, everyone else suffers and you don't.
Oof. But this destroys your lands too, right?
Yep, which is why you set up first, because it doesn't destroy your creatures, artifacts, enchantments, any of that stuff.
But it blows up. Okay. I don't know. It doesn't. So it's one of those things where it's like it doesn't feel unfair. Just because it's not like, oh, it only affects your opponents. It affects you too. So I'm gonna say it's not banned. I'm gonna say it's annoying, Like, you probably want to like fist fight the person that plays this card. But
So you understand me.
But I feel like it's not banned.
So Armageddon is in a very interesting spot where it's not banned in Commander, but it is banned at almost every table. Because of Rule 0, which is like the agreed upon rules for every group. Most people agree that mass land destruction is kind of a bastard thing to do. It slows the game down. No one's going to have a fun time. So while it's not banned by the rules committee, it is banned at most tables.
It's banned morally.
But yeah, it's absolutely right. It's reciprocal, so it's not actually a problem, even if it is super obnoxious.
Yeah, it's like you want to jump across the table and strangle the person that plays it.
So what about Grand Arbiter Augustine the Fourth?
Okay.
4 mana, blue and white.
Oh, geez. Oh, legendary creature. Hello, guy.
Yep, so you could use him as your commander.
All right. See, white spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Blue spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Spells your opponent... wait a minute. Spells your opponent's cast cost 1 more to cast.
Mm-hmm.
And
I made you say the word cast 8 times there.
And that... Ooh.
So, effectively, most of your deck will be at least 1... Well, all of your deck will be at least 1 cheaper, maybe 2. And all of your opponent's cards will be 1 more expensive.
That sounds annoying.
And I will let you know about white and blue. Together, these are like the controlling group. This is like... They have all the counter spells, they have all the negation, the sending stuff back to their hand and exiling.
Yeah,
So they're going to slow you down and give themselves time.
Yeah, see, like this. So this card right here is what I'm like talking about, right? Like those other cards, it's like, okay, destroy all lands. Like, yeah, it affects you too, so it feels fair. This one
the
doesn't.
Reverse of that.
Yeah, this one does not seem fair because you benefit and then all your opponents just suffer.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is banned.
So we're locking in?
We're locking in.
All right. So, this is not banned, believe it or not.
Oh, please tell me at least it's morally banned.
A lot of people dislike this card. So, Commander is a really interesting game because it's political. What I mean by that is that you have 4 people sharing the field.
Mm-hmm.
And if one person plays a card that says, fuck you all, suddenly everyone's eyes turn to them.
Yeah.
And this card is just like, come at me.
Yeah, this card does exactly that.
So it's kind of kept in check because it's annoying. And it's just like you're waving a red flag at people to come get you.
Okay.
Which is a weird way to describe it that only really fits in this game.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, very obnoxious. I don't like it.
Yeah,
my brother actually asked me if he could build a deck with that as the commander, and I'm like,
why would you do that?
Like, you could, but
yeah, then you won't have any friends afterwards. Like,
so let's grab. Got a big creature here, which I'm sorry, but you know.
Here we go. Here we go.
Nyx Bloom Ancient.
Oh, dude, look kind of cool.
4 and 3 Greek. Yeah, there's a whole set based on like Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like all these constellation themes and stuff. It's real cool. So 7 mana.
Okay.
And it's in green, which is the color of ramp and making a lot of mana early.
Yeah.
So you could probably get them down turn 5, turn 4.
See, if you tap a permanent for mana, it produces 3 times as much of that mana instead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that...
So your land now taps for 3 green instead of 1.
That sounds kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
That sounds absolutely insane.
Yeah, nothing I've shown you today hasn't been crazy. Let's not get that twisted.
Yeah, like Okay, this one I feel like is banned. It has to go. Please tell me it's gone.
Jay, this card's totally fine, apparently.
What? Why? What makes it fine?
That's a good question. I think it's just like that. It's like easy to, like it's a creature, easy to interact with, get rid of, but like.
But you see the issue. Like,
yeah. I agree. Like this is a lot.
If I ask, why is this not banned? You're like, that's a good question. What?
So green kind of has. It doesn't do a lot to protect itself or interact with what other people do. Other people do. Grammar's hard. So because of that, like they can't really stop you from ever destroying this card. Like white has cards that will make creatures immune to destruction for a turn or whatever. Blue can counter spell. Black can bring things back. Red also kind of gets fucked with this. But like green is just, if they kill this, it's gone. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's keeping it in check more so than really anything else. It's just like it's in a vulnerable color. But if you get it to stick, you're gonna rock them. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, like what? That's so wild. Okay, wow, so, interesting.
Very similar idea here.
I got bamboozled.
What about Voren Kleck's Voice of Hunger? This is a Praetor, my favorite creature type.
This dude looks scary.
Yeah, 8 mana.
Let's see, trample, right? See, whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana to your mana pool of any type that land produced.
So essentially, double your mana from lands is what that means.
Okay. Whenever an opponent taps a land for mana, that land doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Oh.
So they have to suddenly be conservative with their mana.
But it costs 8 mana, but
it does cost 8.
Well, it costs 8, but it's green. So does that really matter?
Your wheels are turning. I like this.
Like, doesn't that? I feel like the cost of this one doesn't matter because it's green, and green is all about just ramping up and stuff. So I feel like the cost doesn't matter here. This card sounds a little crazy. I mean, again, all of them sound crazy. All of them I feel like all of them just need to be banned at this point.
Anything I've shown you that isn't banned is still in like the 50 most hated cards in the game. So
like, geez, like,
so this was very similar to the last one, but is the downside it gives the opponents enough of a benefit for you that it's that much better to be banned.
It doesn't untap.
That's for 1 turn, by the way. So they'll get the land back the following turn.
That's so annoying.
It is so annoying.
Because their next. Oh, oof. But I do feel like if this dude hits the board, it's not really. You know what? I'm gonna say it's not banned because it has to get through 3 other people, and from what you said, green does not have a lot of protection, so they could get rid of this.
You are correct. Now there are like some green cards that do protection, but like they're usually not efficient. And like the one that is like a $20 card because it's unique, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Voren Kleck's super annoying card, but not banned.
Man,
so all the Praetors, they're all like 1 for each color, and they all have one effect that like this is what our color does, and then the second effect is like you can't do that anymore, and it's really cool thematically.
Like, by golly, seeing it on my opponent's field, take a baseball bat and swing. Like, why would you play this?
I have a deck that there's like an artifact that you can pay 10 mana and sacrifice it. So like you got to invest in it.
Yeah.
But then you just summon all of the Praetors from your deck, and it's like you just get these 15 big meatballs.
Just that.
They're like, I can do everything,
and you
can't
do nothing.
play the game.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's just like a game of Yu-Gi-Oh.
See, you get it. All right, let's go. Might as well clear out our last big bongus.
Oh, here we go.
Last big creature though, it's fine. I believe our second last creature actually. This is Iona, Shield of Amaria.
All right. All right.
9 mana.
9. Wow. Wow. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. So
I hope that's for the art because
no, that is not for the art. That is for the effect. What do you mean? What do you mean? Choose a color. Your opponents can't cast spells of the chosen color. Bro, you could effectively just be like, oh, you playing a red deck? Red.
Yeah, you could do that.
Good luck. Good luck, Chief. Like, no. No. Like, I'm so sorry. No, I'm just gonna say flat out banned. I don't care. If I'm wrong, I'm not wrong. I'm right.
No, of course you're right. This card's insane.
What is this? That's crazy.
Yeah, and like sometimes, maybe you're playing 2 people have the same color. Maybe all 3 of them are doing it. You're just like, all right.
If all 3 are playing the same color, you just slap this down and win.
So this was okay in Commander for 10 years. They finally banned it in 2019.
10 years.
The rules committee says
unchecked.
Iona's ability to lock entire colors out of the game made it brutally efficient at removing agency from other players. Yeah, man.
For 10 years, by the way. 10 years, bro.
This could have been your commander. You just sit on it, wait for it to be like the last 2 people at the table. You're like, you guys can't play anymore.
This card probably single-handedly caused people to quit the game, by the way, okay? Like, I would never play the game again if I got hit by this.
Yeah, it's a little bit obnoxious.
It's like, I summon Iona. I choose black. Good luck.
All right, let's go to one more Praetor.
Why would they print a card like that? Oh, this
Sheoldred the Apocalypse.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of rad looking.
Okay, so what is Death Touch? I'm going to assume if it hits something, it just dies.
Correct. But yeah, so this is Sheoldred the Apocalypse, 4 mana, Death Touch. When you draw, you gain 2 life. When your opponents draw, they lose 2 life.
Oh.
And 4 or 5 stats above average stats for 4 mana.
Wow.
That isn't enough to be banned.
That's crazy. Like, you draw, like if your opponent draws, they just lose 2 life.
Hmm?
Okay. For 4 mana, I'm gonna say it's not banned.
Correct.
Woo!
Yeah, again, just all the Praetors are really obnoxious, but not banned for some reason. I don't believe any of them are.
Yeah, like it doesn't lock you out of the game.
No, but it is immensely powerful. I believe it's going for like $140, depending on where you're shopping right now.
I can't do cardboard for that much money, man.
No, me either.
I simply cannot. That's insane.
And that's why we proxy.
Oh, get that color printer.
Yes, sir.
Bruh.
All right. So our last creature will be Braids, the Cabal minion.
That's a jump scare.
Yeah, she do got crazy, guys. Another 4 mana creature.
Okay.
This time a 2/2. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices an artifact, creature, or land.
Huh. Well.
And again, this is each player, not each opponent.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like the cards that affect everyone, like it's technically it's fair, because you get affected by it too, but it might not mess you up as much as your opponent, especially, I guess. So, okay, from what you told me before, black cards tend to do the whole, like, they sacrifice stuff.
They get a lot of benefits from sacrificing.
Yeah.
Or from dying. They also have a lot of recursion to bring things back.
Yeah.
So it affects everyone. Black definitely the least affected.
But I feel like because it affects everyone, it's okay. Annoying, but it's okay.
That what we're locking in?
So yeah, I feel like it's not banned.
Braids is banned. Braids has a tendency to create a fully locked down board state and end games early in a remarkably unsatisfying way. Braids removes resources aggressively, meaning players are unable to keep the resources needed to remove it. It basically like it just slows them down too much to actually deal with it, and it just is gonna stay there. It's a Yada lock, is what it is.
But then they brought back Yada. Well, they brought back Yada. Yada came off the ban list after who knows how long. So,
well, they did neuter CED.
Yeah.
No more creatures, so you're free from those.
All right.
Biorhythm is an 8-mana green sorcery. Each player's life total becomes the number of creatures he or she controls.
This. Wait. Oh my gosh, hold on. Oh no way. You better have something on the board, because if you don't, you die. This is effectively just, yeah.
So I didn't mention this earlier, but they did bring it up in the Braids description. If a card ends the game, they don't want it to feel unsatisfying. So Braids is an example where it just drags the game out and like nothing happens.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Biorhythm here?
Oh, you know what? Because green can stack mana kind of fast though.
Yep.
So then 8 mana, if you have no creatures, you just lose. Nah, I feel like this card is banned. Please tell me it's banned.
Absolutely, it's banned.
Thank goodness, bro. Oh my gosh.
You said, green can get all the mana it really wants, so you would just play a board clear for like effectively Dark Hole for like 3-4 mana.
Yeah.
Play a 1-mana creature and then go Biorhythm. Anyone? GG.
Biorhythm. Anyone? GG. Shake my hand. Oh, why y'all looking at me like y'all want to beat me up? I'm sorry.
Yeah. and like it just, the game's just over at that point, which like nobody wants.
That.
So they say, as an 8-mana sorcery, Biorhythm can appear to deck builders as fair and funny haymaker, but the reality is that it usually results in a disappointing twist to the game, ignoring the previous gameplay to wipe out 100+ life off the board.
Yeah, like that's nuts. One card can just end the entire game if it wants to. Oof.
Last card.
Here we go. This was for all the marbles.
So we have Yawgmoth's Bargain, a 6-mana enchantment for black. Skip your draw step. You can pay 1 life whenever you want to draw a card.
Huh. In this state...
and it does not say once per turn.
So you don't draw during your draw step, but you can draw at any point during your turn. You just have to pay 1 life. Huh. That's interesting. But you're paying. It's not that you're drawing for free. And you're not going to draw your entire deck. I mean, you could draw as many times as you want.
You could draw like a third of it.
Yeah. But even then though, like, how many cards are you going to be able to play? Especially, well, I guess you play this and then on your next turn.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be
Yeah,
drawing
so
too much the turn you play this.
yeah. Which means that they could probably pop it off the field by your next turn. If not, then I mean that's on them.
But this is black. You could draw all those extra cards. I don't think we've ever mentioned this before, but at the end of the turn in Magic, you have to have no more than 7 cards in your hand, and suddenly your graveyard's filled with shit.
I don't feel like it's banned.
Yawgmoth's Bargain is banned.
It's banned. Yeah.
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 So this is another example of one of those cards that, because Commander has twice as much life as normal Magic, just gives you a huge pool to pull from.
You're right. You are so right.
Life is a resource, you know? I don't mind going down to, 5 life. That I just drew 35 cards potentially.
That's true.
And like you said, you don't have to do it all at once. I'm sure in Yu-Gi-Oh, if you could start at 100 life points, but start with every card in your deck in your hand, like you would.
Yeah, that's true. Damn. Yeah,
that's a look at some of Magic's banned and most annoying cards. What do you think of that? What do you think of these? Any standouts as real weird or?
Biorhythm is crazy. Iona, for whatever reason, for the past 10 years, this card was just chilling, just ruining people's lives and friendships and stuff. That's cool. Yeah, Time Walk is just crazy. Just an extra turn. That's just freaking crazy. Like, what the hell, dude? And Chaos Orb is just
I love Chaos Orb.
Just what?
Would you believe that they printed 2 cards like that?
I honestly, yes, because clearly they did not know what the hell they were doing with their game at the very beginning.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Magic
overall,
got
I think he got
cards.
I think he did pretty well overall, considering you haven't played the game at all, right?
Yeah, never. Like, I've never touched this game. It's like these cards sound crazy. I mean, I know that a lot of them just some of them sound fair, and then some other ones just don't sound fair at all. It just sounds annoying. But I have Yu-Gi-Oh brain, but also if I put my Pokemon brain in here, some of these cards aren't actually as crazy. Because then if you tell a Yu-Gi-Oh player, oh yeah, so I have this one card in my hand, right? I play it. It's Professor's Research. I discard my entire hand and draw 7, but I have no hand, but I still get to draw 7 cards. You tell a Yu-Gi-Oh player that, they're like, what? Like, their brain short circuits. Like, how is that even fair? It's like, well, because in Pokemon you can't really do a whole lot in a turn. But
I think what I noticed with a lot of the banned cards for Magic is in Yu-Gi-Oh you need context for a lot of cards.
Yeah.
Whereas Magic, you see Biorhythm and you're immediately like, oh, if I clear the board, they lose.
Yeah.
The image is right there for what to do with these cards. Like Iona, you're like, yeah, I just tell Scott that he can't play the game anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So it's I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, because
the same is true for a lot of these actually.
Yeah, because when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh ban lists, it's not necessarily one card that is just incredibly strong. It's like multiple cards when working together makes the game just unbearable.
Thank you so much for coming out. Hopefully you had a good time with this.
Oh man, I had a great time until I got something wrong. Then I was like, damn, I gotta get back on my game. And then Blight Steel Colossus got me again. And then I was just like, okay, I gotta do better. And then I started doing a little bit better. And then Grand Arbiter Augustin whatever got me.
I hate that card so much.
And then Nyx Bloom got me too. And I'm like, dang. But Iona didn't get me though, and that is what matters. Also, Biorhythm. Those 2 cards just unfair.
I was really impressed you got Silence, because to me that reads like 1 mana banned card. What do you mean? I could just stop someone's turn.
Yeah.
So that was good that you picked that one up.
Whew. Bless.
All right. You guys know the drill. Go check out Jay's channel in the description down below. Tell him thank you in the comments. Go be nice to him on Twitch, on YouTube, wherever else. If you want to message him on Twitter even to say thank you, that'd be nice.
I appreciate you guys being so nice to me. Go read the Magic the Gathering manga. It is Destroy All Humans. They Can't Be Regenerated or something like that, I think. Go read that.